Father.
Doing well, sir. All praises be to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum again. You all may be seated. Do we have any visitors? Oh, very good. I'm quite sure there were quite a few invitations passed out. It seems as though you all stick to the regiment of 2 or 3 coming out. Thousands of flyers be passed out, be on TV sometimes, and on the net. This must just scare people. You know, Allah, Royall, Allah in person. That can't be. Something is happening with that. You know, the very thing that everybody say that they're looking for, and when someone has enough nerve to say that they are what you're looking for, then everybody turn their head, turn their back. They don't believe it. What would have to happen for you to know or for you to really believe? What would have to happen? You know, out of all the things that has taken place, and from time that has been recorded up until now, the question could still be asked, where is Allah? Where is he? You know, I'm quite sure some of you all have heard the term, if you knew someone's father, and then you see their son, this man's son is just acting up, and his father has passed or he's deceased. And you tell the boy, say, boy, if your father saw you doing that, he would turn over in his grave. You heard that before? Since Allah is not dead, and he's looking at what man is doing, where is he? If we could prove that he's actually dead, then we could say, well, if Allah was here and seen you, boy, he'd turn over in his grave. Where is he? You got your thinking caps on today? That's a good question. Where is Allah? The greatest thing that happened to this man in this country to date, in the way of being physical, was 9/11. Right after that, everybody, politicians and all, let's pray. Where's Allah? Where was he? And then we want to go back a little ways. If we go back 50,000 years, the 12 tribes agreed to come against the 13th tribe of Shabazz and wouldn't ordain his plan, then they could ask them, where is God? Where is he? I mean, if he's the author and the power that makes everything be, how come he's never around when tragedy is there? You don't never really see him. You can't really talk to him. You can only imagine what you would do if you had the power. That makes sense? So the question is, where is Allah? It's been well established that there must be Allah because of the things that's taken place that cannot be explained by the knowledge of this world. So there's got to be an Allah. Where is he? If we come to New York or any other place where black people congregate and offer them an invitation to go and be with Allah and speak with him currently, in your mind, Allah has been absent so long, that's ridiculous. That invitation has got to be false. Can't be no validity to that. Then we ask you, well, where is Allah? Well, the Quran says, well, after you go through all that, still answer the question, where is it? The Bible says, okay, after you finish all that, where is he? You're not going to find it. You can find when he says he will be here at the end of time. Not the end of motion. However, at the end of time, he will show up himself after he raises, or the Bible says, sends Elijah just before he comes to make a way straight for him. All right, Elijah's been here. He did his duty 40-some years. Most of you all here are Muslims, is that right? So you have a pretty good understanding of what I'm sharing with you? Elijah did his duty. There was to be no one coming after Elijah greater than Elijah, except the one that sent him. Right? And we have living proof that that is the truth. The messenger has been going now pretty close to 3 decades. And there has been no one except myself that has even come close to what the messenger did in 40 years. And some of you all may say, well, I don't see anything you've done. You haven't looked. Just for me posing the question, where is Allah? Not so much as who is he, where is he? If we can pinpoint where he is, we might see who he is. Don't you think? Well, the world has descended into the lowest pit of thought, and the expression of that thought most certainly is hell, especially for you, black man. Especially for you. Because the man that has brought it to this critical situation and hour of the day know who you are. So he especially keeps you down. And then because it looks like Islam as a way of life is gaining ground on what put him in check in the first place, he wants to go against that in a way where you won't be successful. What I'm saying is this. It's written that the devil would be cut loose for 1,000 years. And then after the 1,000 years, he'd have a short time, or pardon me, let me say it right. He'd be in check for 1,000 years. Then after that, for a short period of time, he'd be cut loose to do whatever he pleased. Do you know for 1,000 years, he gained enough evidence to know that Islam is greater than anything he could come up with, because it kept him in check. Islam for 1,000 years checked his Christianity. It checked it. So he knows what Islam will do. So he don't want you, black man, that's the author of it, coming alive. Especially after he took all the time that he could to kill your parents and then kill you. And in 64 years come up with someone that knew nothing about Allah. Now you're going to come back into it? If you did, you got clear evidence of him that would make Islam really stand out as a jewel. If you could find it being lived. If you could find Islam as the way it should be, and the way it's portrayed to be, lived that way, you would have no hesitation in going towards that. We know by theory Islam is right. By practice, you can't find it. You can't find the rightness in it where it has enough power to make the people that's practicing it obey the law. They still submit what they call to the great Satan. He's over there right now in Iraq and other countries, dictating to them what they will go through, what's going to happen, and their policies. However, they're Islamic. So you, black man, here in North America, after being whipped, robbed, and then spoiled by this man, we can't afford to let you wake up and accept Islam as you think it should be. And anyone else that comes up from Elijah on up or on down, whichever way you want to look at it, we can't afford to let them prosper. We know, this is a white man speaking, we know that Allah is going to show up because he's not a liar, and he said he would be here. However, since I was given the right to master everything on the planet, I will deal with the thinking of the people he came after. So when he finally arrives, they're not going to accept him. Matter of fact, they're going to curse him just for his name. You know, just like right now. The brothers walk the street, they freeze to death, they cook, you know, passing out invitations. You think the black man will come? Not unless they know that whoever's speaking is talking about white people. If he's talking about white people, the place be filled. Because you think this person is influential, carries a little power, so when you speak to white folks with some kind of authority and charisma, that's what you would want to say. So it's like, yeah, that's my man. That's what I would say if I had a chance. But the white man's looking and laughing. I'll pretend to go with that, yeah. Get your lawyers and come on down and fight me. And whatever group you got, by the time I finish milking you, you still get nothing. Get nothing. However, in all of this, where is Allah? If he is really to show up after Elijah, and that's his plan, where is he? And when he shows up, how would you know it's him? How would you know? By what you've been taught to believe. First, if you're going back to Eastern religion, or, yeah, I say religion because it was styled as religion. You ain't looking for no man to be God. That's shirk. Shirk. Can't be, because the Quran says so. How dumb. This problem is so tremendous, can't no theory solve it. I don't care how well you come up with a plan. If you don't have the power to implement it, it's not going to be solved. I don't care how good you look, how well you can go through the Quran and make it look like it's came alive. Just look back. The question still is, where is Allah? Don't he know what's going on? I mean, damn, man, where are you? The world is in hell. Don't you know that? Some people that are supposed to be good Christians, whatnot, they're turning to be atheists. They can't find God. And one that halfway thinks they see all of their expression of Islam or religion is a business. It don't have nothing to do with God. That's just a storefront or just window dressing the name God. However, to be for real for it, don't exist. Are you all listening? Because today, maybe, after I finish, you might know where God is. That would be good. And when you find him, let me know. I want to ratify it. You with me? I'm open up the floor in a few minutes so you can question me. I love questions because it removes ignorance if you allow it to be removed. It's not Allah's intentions nor his will to have no one dumb. Even his enemy, he didn't want him to be dumb. Is that the win? Looking for Allah? You think about it now. Allah kept his promise to his enemy. It says, you can have dominion over the earth. He knew the man was dumb because he hadn't been here. He didn't learn anything yet. He's just coming on the scene. Guess who taught him? You know, it wasn't you, black man. You stood back and allow him to be taught. All of you all that are sitting there in the seats now, just look to your left or to your right. Scared, huh? What I'm saying is, Allah hates ignorance. And he knew if anyone was going to master what he created, he couldn't be a dummy. So, the man only had 6 ounces of brain, just like our women. Our woman. Hers is positive, his is negative. So go teach the man. Let him know when he's messing up. Let him know when he's doing it right. We permitted it, we didn't do it. We permitted him being made, we didn't do it. Are you listening? Now, where is Allah? I mean, at this time in the stage of the plan, he's got to make a showing. Everybody else has tried, from Abraham all the way up to Moses, Jesus, Lot, Noah. I mean, how many people he gonna send? Prophet Muhammad and all the little ones that we never even heard about. All of them. But where is Allah? You ever think of that? Why should Allah come before time? If he did, that means just his appearance marks the end. The end. It'll be just like Jesus said, I have to go away so the Comforter can come. If I don't go away, he can't come. So God had to go away to give this man freedom to reign over what he made. Until he says, I will come at the end of your reign. And regardless of what you do and how you do it, I'm still coming at the end. Your time is 6 days. And on the morning of the 7th day, I shall make myself known. Where is he? Minister Louis Farrakhan is the most pronounced individual after the messenger. Now, before the messenger was taken, the magnification of him began. He was a household word right along with Elijah. Is that right? So, when we finally remove Elijah, it wasn't too difficult for us as a nation of people, believers, to accept him as the leader. Only the ones here in New York that had close ties to him was trying to say to the world, this man is not fit to lead nothing. Most of you didn't know that because you was never around it. But there's quite a few people here in New York Say, oh no, we have Wallace first. To hell with Lewis. But most of y'all didn't know that. However, you couldn't stop it because we groomed him for the position. Still, where is the law? We got the messenger. We can prove he was here. Lewis, we can still prove he's here. Where is the law? The messenger says, after me comes God himself. And he told the National Secretary Abbas Rasul, he says, Abbas, tell them what must be done after the coming of God. Abbas did that and passed on. He was with me for some time. A lot of things he got started in the way of making sure that you knew. So that has passed. Where is Allah? Now, because Allah shows up as an ordinary man, so to say, that's what your eyes would reveal to you, then he's not carrying or showing this majesty as you think he should have or show. Then it's extremely difficult for you to accept someone such as myself as being Allah. Who would you accept? You? Which one of you think that you really are the Allah? Not that all of you all are Allahs. That's a bunch of hogwash. Which one of you think that you are really the Allah? You see? The question is still, where is he? Don't he know? Is he that backwards? Is he a liar? 30 years, the messenger has almost been gone from us. Allah still ain't showed up after he said he would do this. Is he lying? Or is there even an Allah? Is that a figment of somebody's imagination? Is it another trick of the devil? Do you all ask yourself these questions? Talk to me. Do you ask yourself these questions? Well, I thought I would ask you today, since you don't never ask. I always have a barrage of brothers trying to express or explain to me that it is impossible for me to be anything other than good brother. Just Brother Royall. Who else do you know that's named Royall? What name should Allah come in, since Allah is not his name, it's just a title? You know, like president. The president got a name. At this time, it's George Bush, isn't it? So what name, since Allah comes speaking the same language you speak to make sure you don't have no excuse, what name should he have? Should it be Tom Jones? Prince? What name, what name should he have? Or shall I say this? Is Royall a name that's befitting of a man with that kind of character? Since we're speaking English, not Arabic, is there a better name than Royall that is not complicated? The question still remains, where is he? If you have a son, 10, 11 years old, just big enough to get in something that he can't handle, and he finds this out, now he's in distress. You listening? And he calls on you his father. Are you going to evade his call after you heard it? Or would you come and answer it? Well, how many times you called on the alarm and when did he answer you? And don't tell me, well, it just happened. That might have been Satan. Satan's been following us ever since there's intelligence, copying everything we do. How do you know it was Allah that did it? When your son called on you, even if it's on the phone, Dad, I'm in deep, deep trouble here. Well, what's wrong, son? I've had a terrible accident. I've killed 3 or 4 people. Well, he gonna ask, well, what about you? Did you get hurt? He just goes over there. He killed 3 or 4 people. He may say, what? Did you get hurt? Oh, no, sir, Dad, I'm fine. But the police here, the FBI is here, the CIA is here. Well, who did you hit? It was the Pope of Rome. Yes, son, you in deep. I'll see what I can do. At least the boy knew who he was talking to. He could identify what his father looks like. He identified his voice. And he also identified the amount of will that he told him what he was going to do. Whether he's going to do something or not. The most important being of all beings that has the power to answer whatever, you don't know how to call on it because you don't know where he is. You can't get the cell phone and call him up, but you don't know where he is. You can't write him a letter. You don't know where he is. So where is he? Smart black man. Know everything. Well, to answer your question, y'all looking at him. These are things if you really pursue it to see. And it don't mean that Allah don't operate or I don't operate in the unseen. I do. However, it's not my choice nor my will to continue doing that when I don't have to. I'm here. You can see me. You can feel me. You can talk to me. But like it reads in the Bible, in the 21st chapter, I'll walk with you. I'll talk with you. I'll sup with you. I'll be your God. You'll be my people. I'll take away all your tears, sorrows, sadness, even death. I'll take that from you. The man is saying, they're looking at him. He's looking at you. So you don't have to ask, where is God? God is wherever he wants to be. However, he left a system where I can contact him at will. And not necessarily through prayer. However, if the emergency arises and catches you in a situation where you don't have time to call physically, you just have the time to think, oh Allah, what is this? Quick as you can think it, the answer's right there. If you need to be saved, you save right away. Everybody else come up and say, boy, a higher power must be with you because you're supposed to be dead. It works then. But there's been too much of that and too little of this. So when this shows up, you ignore this and still want to hold on to that. Well, if I wanted to keep it on that, I would never showed up with this. Where is Allah? Well, when are you going to do something about what's happening in the world? I am. I didn't come to correct it. I'm here to destroy it. And before that actually takes place to a point of no return, I'm retrieving you that would want to be saved. I hope this makes sense. I have to take a pause for the cause. And because I want to see some of the cream of the planet back in its original state in power, then the pause is put on the destruction as it could be. However, time is not going to be extended and extended and extended because you keep refusing. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. If you think so, look around. Look around. Check your weather. 80 degrees one day, 30 the next. Snow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 90 the next. Hail falls. All these things are happening in degrees. It used to take 6 months for it to happen. Now it happens in 4. Tomorrow it'll be 2. And then it'll be in a way where you don't have no time to escape it. Because you didn't build nothing up. You didn't plan. You didn't provide. When you really didn't have to if you come with this. I got everything that you need. You just have to multiply it. That's all. But to you, that's a lot. Multiply some man's idea. God's not man. Whose idea are you going to multiply? Yours? You don't have an idea. Look how wise you think you are. You do not have an idea. You can rehearse or recite someone else's. You don't have one. Because if you God, but you're dead God. Until you come alive, any idea you express is Satan's. If you're alive and you express an idea, well, then you express his mind and we're in agreement. Other than that, you express Satan's idea, you might not be in agreement with it, but that's the only thing you can express. You can't express nothing else. You know something? You don't look at it that way, do you? Here we are in a school. I'm looking at all them different flags. What's being taught here? It's really something. The main thing that everyone should know, and what you should be looking for, where is Allah and who is he? Once that has been solved, all learning becomes easy. Once that has been solved, all learning becomes easy. Because the first thing you learn, not to go up against Father Time. And don't mess with Mother Nature. That means if you eat wrong, you're going against Mother Nature. If you talk about Allah in the wrong tense, you're going up against Father Time. Because he said he was coming at the end of time, and this is the end. Is this making sense? Okay, well, I'm going to open up the floor, see if we can find out where Allah is. We should wrestle with this until we find him. And if we find him, we should find out what is he doing about this. The black man's in a terrible shape. What are you planning on doing about it, God? And when you going to do it? Brother asked me yesterday, when? I had to check myself. Yeah, really, when? Anybody got any questions? I know I had quite a few, but you all got any? We have a questionnaire over here. How much? Just take it over there. Take it over there to her. We can make this meeting as intense as you want it, or as intelligent as you want it, or as blessed as you want it. I'm here at your disposal. The person that asked the question always holds the power. Yes, ma'am. Walaikum salam.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you. I used to think that time and God were one and the same, in that anything that occupies a space is occupying some sort of time, but not time in the sense of seasons or hours or minutes, but just, I guess, time in a more abstract sense where I can't really put it into words, but that if I'm standing here, I'm occupying time. And so I was wondering if that's still the case, that time and God are one and the same, or are they different?
Well, if I can understand what you're saying, because can you all hear me? Because there's an echo up here. Do you all hear me? Did you hear her?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm thinking that you're asking me, by you standing there, are you occupying time?
Right. And that before, I guess, that time was always here, but not, I guess maybe not always people were here.
Okay.
And so, but there was still time existed even before people. Is that the case?
Yes, ma'am, I understand what you're asking. However, can you hear me in the rear? However, time cannot be occupied. You can occupy space. You cannot occupy time. You can utilize time. And what constitutes time is wrong. In the creation of this, we made it and is. And to make sure that we continue keeping it is, we develop law. And the law maintains the is. And as long as everything is, there's no time. When something comes against the is, like this man we allowed to rule the planet, that's against God and what he set up in the is of God, then there is a time put on it. How long is he going to last? Because the is automatically is more powerful than that's coming up against it. So then we start measuring, how long is this going to last? Because it's evidently got to run out. Because since is, you can't get to the end of is, because it is. You see?
Yes.
So that's why you have all these other different religions and whatnot. However, they don't hardly start off with is, like Islam. If that's...
It's wonderful, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. That was it?
Oh, I didn't know whether I could ask multiple questions.
You can ask another. You can ask that one for the baby.
Actually, it was concerning about the baby. I was wondering, as we're here, if we hang upside down, blood rushes to our heads, we get dizzy once we come right side up. However, when a baby is in utero, after about the 6th or 7th month, the baby is face down. Why doesn't this phenomenon happen to the baby in utero?
Well, the baby is still being developed. It's still growing. It's still, the gravitational pull is not that on the baby as it is if it were you. You're supporting the baby. It's like the baby's you can see it inside your stomach. But as far as the baby is concerned, it's just in space. It ain't no up or down. It's just there until it gets time to make its exit. Then it has to turn to where the exit point is. But until then, the baby's like, hey, like you just out in space. And if you're out in space, there ain't no up and down. You're just out. Right? So that's what happens.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, I'd like to find out, what is the purpose of thunder and lightning?
Thunder and lightning?
Yes.
What's the purpose of it?
Yes.
Well, the first thing it shows that that man, period, is not utilizing the power that's available to him. And since he don't utilize it, the bringing in the heat and cold together causes an explosion. So the lightning is first. And because the lightning, this explosion takes place, then you get a sound from it. It's like you hit the mic. It didn't make the sound until after it was hit.
Right.
It's just that you and I were so close, it looked like the sound was at the same time, but usually the sound is it's a split second after it hit. So the lightning comes in because it's letting us know that the cold and the heat has come together and they're at odds with each other. So it creates this energy, so it has to release itself like, bam. Then you hear the sound. A lot of times when you're at home and you hear thunder and lightning and the rain has not come, and you see the lightning, but you don't hear nothing. As soon as you see the lightning, start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom! 4 miles away from you. That's the way you tell how far it's away.
Oh, interesting.
And then you see the lightning, then you hear it's right upon you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'd like to ask you another question. How do fish keep from eating other fish feces and urine?
Well, it's not that they don't. This is nature itself. We put into the different things of nature an instinct, not intelligence, but an instinct. And we do have fish designed to eat that. That's their diet. Keep the place clean. So they instinctively already know not to do or what to do. They're like sitting on a path and they can't deviate.
All right. Okay, just one more question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
After an infant is born and the entity comes into the infant, and then the infant dies, to say like a month later, does that entity return? Once it goes back to the sun, does it immediately come back out to go into another newborn?
That depends upon the situation. It can do that right away into another newborn, or it can go back with the permission of Allah and remain there for another assignment or for a later date. It depends upon what the situation calls for.
Okay. Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am. In nature, the first thing that one receives from nature is always mercy. Are you listening, black man? It is always nature. This is why nature always provides a flexibility. It's never rigid. And this is why we are admonished in Scripture. If you can, operate in the spirit of the law, not the letter. Because the letter will kill you. Because you have to be so precise in everything that you do. If the letter of the law was applied to you, you would fail and death would be your end. However, the letter or the spirit of the law will allow you to fluctuate, make an error, go back and change it, where you can bring comfort to yourself. And then when you get to the point you made an error that you cannot change, you might know how, but you don't have the resources to do it, then you call on Allah. Allah, forgive me. And if He didn't exercise mercy, it would be no forgiving. Death would be your end. You see? So these things of nature is very, very, good for us, or it's in the plan to make sure that we have enough time to make the proper adjustment in what we need to make. Now you need to make the adjustment in, where is Allah? He can't be dumb. He can't be a liar because he ain't scared of you. What do you got to lie for? Be something different if he ran upon something that he couldn't master, he couldn't control. Then maybe he'd do something like you, lie, protect yourself. That's what you call yourself doing, protecting yourself. Police catch you and say, did you steal that? Oh, no, sir. He asked you first, then he started going in your pockets. Oh, what is this? I don't know how they got there. This making any sense? That's all the questions? If it is, we can go. Oh, you got it? Yes, sir. Walaikum salam.
The beings that created the other universes, I don't want to know what they did specifically, but what was the nature of what they did that Allah permitted them to go and create the other universes, or make the other universes?
They pleased Allah. In other words, they were so diligent in how they conducted themselves and so respectful of that which is already created that they had a mind of continuation in the creation process. So it wasn't that like Yaqub, he was so disagreeable that they sent him off. These were so agreeable that why stop them? It's like a son growing up in his dad's home. And his dad is so proud of the boy because the boy, he's perfect. Every day he's asking God, why did you give me this boy? You know, he's perfect. I just love him. So the boy's, you know, he done mastered everything into the home, mastered everything. So he asked his dad, said, Dad, you know, I really like to go out and start a home of my own. See what I can do. Oh, by all means, son, whatever you need, let me know. That process. And it wasn't but two in all of creation. Wasn't but two in all of creation that reached that status. Only two. So maybe you'll be the next one.
So it wasn't like just one thing they did. It was just like, it was just how, it wasn't like really one big thing. So it was just
no, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. All the things he made it one. And he became one, which means independent. All the things that Allah created or made, he treated them as it was one. Kept it always free, independent, respectful. That way everything that was made had no reservation in serving him. You see. So this pleases God because this is what Allah really wants everyone to be. Really want. Submission will gain you independence. Most people think submission, please. Yeah, don't submit to the devil. Unless it's done very wisely. However, if you don't submit, you don't grow no place. You don't grow. You don't move. You know, your refusal to submit bring your death. But once you submit, how many of y'all used to look at the series Kung Fu? One day where he, you know, they got himself in some kind of fix and they threw him in a hole with a bunch of rattlesnakes. And as he was descending, going into the hole, before he reached the bottom, he had turned in his own mind to cause the snakes to feel like he was just one of them. So the snakes never bothered him, because they saw him as one of them. He was very, you know, he always showed how meek and humble he was and whatnot, until he got away to get out of the pit. He submitted. No harm came to him. But if he fell down like he was all staunch and had fear and wanted to stomp him and kill him, they would have got him. You see? How many have been approached by a dog? Did you run? Or did you almost act like he wasn't there while you were trembling? If you called his challenge, you may have gotten bit. But if you submitted that this dog may bite you, so I better conduct myself in such a way to cause him to think that there's no fear coming from me to him. That automatically come up in your mind. Then he'll check you out. And you keep on walking. And after a while, you got him rings and he look at you, see him, you know, drop that, wag the tail, went on the other way. But if you didn't submit, you got to fight. Same thing with this. Where is Allah? Don't submit and see if you find it. If you submit, then all the signs will show you where he is. And what he's doing. And why he's there. Yeah, we found him. What are you doing over there, God? I need you over here. You know I'm just playing, right? Yes, sir.
Actually, that kind of leads right into another question. I remember a little bit, sometime last year, I was thinking that I really hate depending on other people for anything. And I even said, I don't know, I think it was my thought that I was like, I don't even like having to depend on Allah to do things. Is that something that needs to be corrected?
Yes, sir. Okay. Everything should be balanced. What you're expressing is the devil. You know, he's done brainwashed most of the brothers. You know, be on your own. Be your own man. I. Me. I could get it for myself if I have to go steal it. It's crazy. That's why the black man is God, not a black man. everything relates to the other. And when you break that relationship, you got a problem. You don't want to be dependent. However, if we are together as brothers, you're not dependent upon the particular person as being, supporting you. But just by being your brother, the support is automatically there that you don't ask for. It's already there. But since we have not operated that way, now we have to single ourselves out and make it clear. I need help. I just hate to ask you, damn it, but if it was supposed to be, I got a whole system set up for help. All you got to do is, just like the book says, I got a whole table laid out. Best food that I made. Right in front of your enemy. Come on, eat. Oh, no, I'm too proud for that. I'll get my own. Oh, okay. But if you come and eat, the enemy is looking at you just by preparing it in front of him. That makes a loud statement. Nobody can do that, and he don't do nothing about it unless it's God. He don't prepare nothing in front of him without his permission. But it don't read that. So what you're expressing, this is what you would like to be. However, there is a condition and a system that's got to be put in place for that to be. I don't want to have nobody supporting me. I do need support of the idea. Because if you support the idea, it's going to get back to you. Not me, the person. Although the idea came from me. From me. Not that I really am the idea. However, I'm expressing it in a way where it's coming from me. That means you can take it and utilize it, and it serves you where you don't have to put my name in it. You don't have to mention nothing. You don't have to say you don't have to say Allah. You don't have to say nothing. Just work the plan. You know one thing? Who is it that invented math? What's his name? See? You use it every day, but you don't know who did it. You never call his name. Bad man. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's universal and it's non-personal and it works, all you got to do is learn how to use it. It's not necessary for you to know who did it. In case you do want to know me. Allah himself did that because that's what worked for him. And it worked so perfectly, he allowed everybody else to submit and use what he used. Then you don't never have to call his name. Just say use the math. That's why in our lessons that math is Islam and Islam is math. It isn't math is Master Prophet Muhammad. And Islam is Allah. They didn't even call no name. Know the truth and the truth shall set you free. They ain't call no name. But you can't know the truth unless you use the math. Like, where is God? Where is Allah? If you don't use the math, you can never find it. Is that true or not? Okay, brother.
Yes, sir. I wanted to know the significance of Bridgeport in the idea.
Bridgeport?
Yes, sir.
Connecticut?
Yes, sir.
Well, Connecticut means connect, right?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Okay.
When you have a lot of knowledge, you tend to play a lot. I feel great. I'm being humorous, brother. However, Bridgeport, it's just what it reads. If we're coming from the south going north, you got to get to Bridgeport before you get to New Haven. It's like you got to go through the port before you get to heaven. Is this making any sense to you?
Yes, sir.
If you go to another country, you got to go through their port of entry. If you don't go through the port of entry and they catch you, you're in trouble. You got to go through the port of entry and be checked. Where you coming from? Who are you? Why you coming here? Are you looking to get a job here? We can't support you. How much money you got? They ask you all these questions.
Yes, sir.
So Bridgeport is just before New Haven. New Haven? Powerful place. Powerful and lazy, but it's still powerful. But you get there first. Now, Islam has started there in Bridgeport, under the United Nations of Islam's direction, so you can get there before you get to New Haven. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I thought so. So we'll let it go for that right now. In other words, if you can make it to Bridgeport, you got a good chance of making it to New Haven. New.
Yes, sir.
What's going on up in New Haven is affecting all this northeast corner. Not Bridgeport, but New Haven is affecting it. Yeah, we sent people from heaven to New Haven to get just a small entity in motion. We didn't send it to Bridgeport. But the ones in New Haven ran to Bridgeport trying to get out. We locked the gate. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Everything is nothing spooky about it. The full meaning of that at this time is what I just gave you. It has another meaning, but we'll wait a little bit on that.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Do you live there?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir. Okay, you're in a good place.
I also want to know the meaning of my name.
If it's an easy one, what's your name?
Courtney.
Courtney?
Yes, sir.
I haven't given it yet. I almost forgot how to do that. Nobody else gonna ask me that, right? You're gonna ask me what your name is, right? It means investigator or checker. You know, just like at the port.
Yes, sir.
You know, you interrogate people to check to see if they are legally enough to enter. You know, just like they have on the borders. Border policemen and whatnot. That's what it means. Now what you do with it, I don't know. Courtney, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. It ain't right, you take them to court. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. I would like to know the meaning of a name.
Oh, didn't I just ask?
It's Asman.
Ask well, I guess the brother wants to know, but what's the name?
Asman.
Asman.
A-S-M-E-N.
Okay, now I'm going to ask the question again. Nobody else going to do this, right? Who's going to do it? So that means no. Who else? Who going to do that? Okay. Asman, right?
A-S-M-E-N. Asman.
M-E-N?
M-E-N. Asman. A-S-M-E-N.
Means a kind of man. A kind of man.
That's it.
That's what it means.
All right. Yes, sir.
You know, white folks is called, a mankind.
Yes, sir.
They just change it around. Instead of saying kind of man, they put mankind.
Yes, sir. All right.
The name you gave me means kind of man.
All right, yes, sir. I have another question. Is how does one? What's it? When one feels more will than they're actually expressing or putting forth, and they're looking for a way to do it in a way to where they don't have to deal with the hellfire fight with Satan. What would you recommend that they do?
This, the black man, because I'm here, and I hope you all are listening. Because I am here, whether you know it or not, you cannot remain thinking the way that you think. So anything that does come up in your mind, that even when it appears to be new to you and it carries power, because automatically you can see the fullness of it. And if you could just get this in motion, you would know this is work. However, I don't take partners. Even in you, when you come up with an idea that I put in an atmosphere, you come up with it, I don't allow it to be where you can run to white folks and put it in motion. Because you're feeding my enemy with what I gave you. So, like I said, I don't like ignorance. I really can't stand it. It's a terrible enemy. So since I can't stand it, I'm constantly putting out knowledge every day. Quite a few of you pick it up. And you think it came from you. I mean, that's all right too. If you think it came from you, and then you hear me, and you realize, well, look, this brother has got knowledge also. Why don't I get in touch with him and see what we can do together? That's the only place we're going to allow it to have any meaning. We're not going to allow any knowledge that you come up with to have meaning or take meaning with the enemy. You're going to forget that. So to look at it and see, you see the power, you feel it, it's all in your thoughts. You're not going to be able to express it unless it's in the United Nations of Islam, because we need it. And since there is a need for it, then I'm justified in sharing it. And I don't have to come to you personally and say, well, look, I like you, so won't you take this idea? If I did that, I'd get nothing done. First place, you wouldn't believe it. You want to go question me and try to piece it to pieces. And time we finish, we're in an argument. But if I just put it out there and you pick it up, you think you got something now. Yeah, because I put it out there. Because I don't want to be inundated with ignorance. I've gone 13 years with that. I've served my sentence. I mean, I've had some, even when I first started, they showed up down in Jersey City with guns and everything else. They're going to take me out. Right after the day before that, I talked with them. I was a blessed man. Oh, Father, you're this. Rah, 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 rah. Next day, they're going to walk straight down the aisle and come there and think they're going to do me in. Anybody here remember that? Ignorance. I walk outside, they got the van door open, guns laying on the bench seat. They act like they was trying to find them. Me and Boswell Sue, we stand there looking at them. They're right there. They couldn't even find them. They're right there. I got in the car, I got in the car, took off. They were still looking for the guns. With the doors open. They didn't have, the tailgate. They had the swinging doors. The doors was open. We were looking at them right in the van. The same brothers the day before that was praising me. Because I'm Allah. I'm committing shirk. They're going to do me in. So I've served my time. I've gone through the sentence that you all put on me. So now that's why I play a lot. They say, well, Allah don't play. I do. I just don't have no games. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I like it.
Walaikum salam. You all can be like this too. Like when I'm like a rich man. I mean, rich. I can take $1,000 bills and just play with them, throw it in the wind, watch the wind take it away. Where y'all be like, God, man, look, don't do that. Give it here. I got so much, I just want to see which way the wind is blowing. Yeah, let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Is this making sense to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, then you check and we can finish. See if we find out where Allah is. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam, soldier.
Father, where do space originate from?
Space?
Space.
Can't answer that question. If I tell you where it originated from, then I'll have to tell you what was there before. We never found out what was there before.
Yeah.
However, I can answer when we realized that space was space.
All right. Yes, sir.
That was in the creation of Allah himself. After he got enough brains and activity going and enough thought to the energy, he discovered, I'm standing in space. Let me use some of this matter that's in space, make it serve me, since it looked like it ain't doing nothing, just floating around. Then we came up with space, but it was there all the time. Like a lot of brothers, you got some spacey thinking. Nothing's in there. Suppose you be Allah. I mean, real, for real. It's on your shoulders that you save the God, that you save the planet, that you make everything true that's written that God would do. Suppose it would be on yours. How would you go about doing it? And when would you start? When would you expect to finish? Who would you think would help you? After thinking about that, do you think you'd be successful? The first thing you would find out, you ain't Allah. That'd be number one. Then if you pursued it, then you'd find out number two, that you crazy. Absolutely insane. Because this is not a one-dimensional thing that has to be done. Everything has got to be considered. Everything. You all ever look at that forensic TV show? You see how detailed the enemy is? You think you're going to beat him because you got a strong will for him to do right? As good as we are, and everybody that comes to be with me is extremely intelligent as far as intelligence of the day is weighed. With all that intelligence, they can't get the black man here. Because the grip of the enemy got you. And since we're not to make you come, we can only offer you the road, offer you the invitation. If you come, then you will be fed that which will cause you to be free of the enemy. However, when we meet you, we're meeting the enemy. Usually 7 times stronger than the enemy in the way of being rebellious. Because the enemy is not hard-headed or stiff-necked. He's just dedicated to his nature. You tell Mr. Bobo something, he'll listen. Most of the time he already done figured it out. Got it up in the library, so you can go read it. You didn't have to tell him. You already know it. But he's sitting there and listening to you. Sometimes I go look at a TV program there in Cincinnati. Black people be at the government, the local government there. And they on TV. They be cussing the mayor out. You know, they have so many minutes to come to the podium and express what they want to tell the government or the mayor or sometimes the governor. They be going off. And he be sitting there. And then when they start going over the time, he look, bang, 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 that's your time. Like nothing they said even moved him. Because it's like a bunch of monkeys jumping up and down that don't have a clue of what's taking place. However, since he said, I'll listen, he just listened. He really ain't even listening. Pitiful. Yes, sir, brother. I won't take up no more of your time.
Yes, sir, Father. Father, in the center page overlooking the obvious, you said you brought to Minister Lewis a supreme show of power to show who you were. What was some of that example of the supreme show of power that you showed to him?
Well, Wally, the editor of his paper, the Final Call at that time, that he was so in love with, since Wally loved the ministers so dearly, and he decided that he was going to do the minister a favor and take me out. And you know, when somebody, if you love your wife or you love your child, you really love them, then if you're God's man and you think your love is in the right place, you would think that God will protect what you love. Because you're right. And when you come to find out that maybe you have offended God, and God takes your man out, and before he take him out, God tell him, I'm taking your man. Since you want him to take me out, I'm going to take him out. I heard what he told you. How you hear that? I looked in. Because I sent him a message by his secretary and told her to read that to him word for word. Don't add nothing in, don't take nothing away. He'll understand it. She read it. First she said he wasn't there. And I was listening to her, I said, oh, she's lying. But I didn't deal with the lie. I just told her to read it. Read it back to me. She read it back 3 times before she got it right. 3 times. That's the secretary. Secretary. I would have fired mine. 3 times. It wasn't no page. I told her, I said, look, just tell him word for word that I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to stay here and wait to see how long he can stand under a weight that he's not designed to carry. That's all. Tell him that. When she finally got it right and told him, I looked in. He was standing right there when she read it to him. He dashed off into the other room. I'm looking at this, sitting right there in his brother's house, Alvin Farrakhan, sitting in his house looking. So I said, Alvin, he just went and told Waleed. And Mustafa was there. They all got into a frizzy. Don't worry about the minister, I'll take care of it. I said, oh. You think he gonna come do me and Alvin? Oh no, Brother Royall, they wouldn't do that. I'm telling you, I know they wouldn't do that. I said, watch. I give him 3 days. The second day, Sister National is here with me. She was there at the place at the time. They was jumping all over the roof of the garage, all in front of the house. Looked like they just couldn't get in the house. I said, look at them. These are Louis people. They're going to take me out. They're sitting there right in front of the house, in Alvin's house, in the car, a couple cars and whatnot. Then they're in the back part, going across the garage. It looked like they were trying to get in the house, like they just lost their way. Was you there, King? You weren't there that night, huh? Well, his blessings was there. So, to let him know, I told Alvin to let him know, I'm going to take care of this. The next day, I got a call. Waleed mysteriously passed while at the gym. Since he was they call him a health nut. I think he was in his early 30s. You know, like I was at the time. Joking. Well, from that display of power, because it wasn't hidden, to make sure he knew, I sent him, in other words, I did it. And if you don't believe that, check Wazir. See how long he stayed. Don't make me angry. So he knows that he knows. I am that I am. And all of that big bad FOI that he's got and whatnot, they ain't did a damn thing about it. And I ain't tried to hide it. The minister from Memphis came to Alvin's house and asked me, talking to, and the one from Boston, what's his name? Don Muhammad or whatever it is. We carried him to the airport. I told them all. I did it. You gonna do me in? Ha ha ha. Then Mustafa, I'll tell you, no son, leave me alone. And that's why today he don't even talk about me. You mentioned Solomon. Take that conversation someplace else. You see? That's what he saw. And moreover than that, he saw me. When I went to speak with him, and he came against what I came to share with him, when I finished with him, he made a statement, I am convinced that you're convinced. In other words, it's like the man tells you, say, look, I will kick your... And he do it in such a way that he really believe he can do it. You're going to take another posture. If he believes that strong, he might be able to do it. Are you listening? This is a man that was allowed to be a helper to the messenger until Allah actually showed up. And to let you know that he was supposed to have been in office when Allah showed up, that's why the messenger told him, when I return, if you stuck to my teachings, I will reveal the new book through you. Not through somebody else. I will reveal it through you. That means he would be in the seat. Well, is the book a book, or is the book a he or who? The book is a who. And who is the book? Me. So I went like the messenger told him. He rejected the book and wanted to have the book killed. I won't say he wanted it. He was going to permit it because he didn't say, well, go take him out. Well, he made the suggestion, I'll take care of it for you, brother. And then when it took place, I don't know how many times after the paper came out, and if you still got the copy, you'll see how much he loved him. Big full-page ads on it, a letter with his handwriting and everything, how much he loved him like a son, and he was just went all into it. But when his brother died, there was a little article like that. Alvin Farrakhan. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, sir, Father. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. However, that's still a part of my sentence. This don't come without a price. You listening? This does not come without a price. So regardless of what you think, those of you that don't know this and never heard it, they say, well, this man stand up saying he's Allah. Where he come from? He just want to be notarized or have some notoriety or get rich or whatnot. You don't know the past. I'm a man that don't have a home. Or at least a home I can get into at this particular time. The home is there in Chicago. The palace is mine, built by my instructions for me. I'm so generous to allow those ones that supposed to be with me to use it so that you can see. Brother Ali may remember the messenger says, after he left, that some of the hypocrites are going to conduct themselves in such a way they even might be in the home. Don't worry about that because that's all they may get. You remember that, Brother Ali? Who's got it? The chief hypocrite. That's all he gets. And you know what makes it so bad about the present? It's forever fleeing away from you. If you're living for the present, you're dead. If you have vision and living for tomorrow, the future, you live. If your future is not in conflict with nature, Allah himself. I hope you all are listening. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I want to know the meaning of my name.
Did you just get here?
No.
You been here all the time? Is the punishment still going on? Well, what is it, brother?
Julius.
Julius? Do we have that? We have a whole book of names that I've already given. Or Julius. Julius. It just means what it reads. Or how you pronounce it. It's like a jewel to us.
Julius. Julius.
Same thing. You know what a jewel is?
What was the answer?
Do you know what a jewel is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's something that's wanted. So people put value to it. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Well, it means that you are valuable to us. You are valuable to us. That's what the name means. Valuable to us. Valuable.
Have another question?
Yes, sir.
Why are you not supposed to eat all vegetables?
We're not supposed to eat all vegetables? Who told you that? When you say all vegetables, what are you talking about? Like collard greens?
Yeah.
Well, because the human body is not made for that. You can eat it, however, it's very hard on your digestive system. And a lot of the thinking or the well-being of the body comes from what goes into our digestive system. If it's wrong, it brings about all kinds of ills. And it reflects your thinking. If you don't think right, you're not going to eat right. If you don't eat right, your body's not going to function right. So you're just walking around wrong. So when you learn what is really good for you, and you eat that way, then it takes away the illness that the body may have, and it will allow you to think right and right ideas. It'll give you a healthy, you don't mind getting up in the morning. If anything, it switches around. You don't want to go to bed. Can't wait to get up. But as it stands in this world, you might not want to go to bed, but you can't stay up. And when you go to bed, you don't want to get back up. Especially a white man has a little beer at 8 o'clock. You're looking at the clock. Alarm go off at 6. Oh, man. Just 10 more minutes. You put it on snooze. You know something? He knew you were going to do that, so he made a clock put snooze on it. But the man God, he thought about what you were going to do, so he, hey, take this. Yes, sir.
The owl. Why you go who? The owl?
Yes, sir.
He turns his head 360 degrees and goes who?
Yes, sir.
That's all he does.
Well, that's all it appeared that he does.
I was listening to a tape on Brother James Van, and I can't really remember.
What do you want to know about the owl?
Why he turned his head around 360 degrees?
It shows that he has a knowledge of 360 degrees.
That's all?
Is that more? In other words, the owl, when we made the different animals and whatnot, most of them we made free. Their misuse of the freedom that we gave them made us put them in a boundary. And the owl, you ever hear people say, be wise as the owl? You might not know why they're saying it, but the owl is an extremely wise bird. However, because he was disobedient with what we gave him, we only allow him just we won't allow him to share it. And that's like a prison sentence. He got all this knowledge, but he can't share it with nobody. And to let you know he got it, he can turn all the way around. You can't even do that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Is it okay to juice color green and cucumber? To juice and have it?
To juice?
To juice it, to have it.
Juice what?
Color green.
Color green?
Vegetable.
The juice? Well, I would say it's okay. If you're going to use it, it's better than eating the collard green itself. Because at least it's in a liquid form. And especially if you juice your mouth all up before you swallow it. It's still not the best for you. Although it's green, it has everything. It's more or less for animals.
Yes, sir.
If you're going to do something, juice the cabbage.
Okay.
If you want that kind of green or spinach.
Yes, sir.
You can juice the collard green. It's still not the best. It's not as hard as you just eat the collard greens itself.
Yes, so it's something, it's not that only it's hard to digest, but it's something in it is not good for us. Is that what it is?
Well, not that it's not good for you. It takes the body more effort to digest it to make it good for you. It's like I give you a handful of peanuts or cashew nuts or the juice from a coconut as opposed to giving you the coconut itself. You got to break the shell before you get to the goodies. So when you eat the collard green or take the juice or whatnot, the juice is less. It's like part of the shell's been removed. But you still got to break through the composure of the juice that's from the collard greens for your body to really use it. It'll do it, but it puts a little bit more strain on you.
Yes, sir.
You see? Yes. When you can get the same results if you do the spinach, if you do the cabbage, it don't tax the body.
Yes, sir. So my question is, what is it in the color green? Since it's vegetable like the cabbage, what is it in it that makes it harder for our body to break it down?
It's just the way it's constructed. The cellular structure of it makes it harder for your body. Otherwise, the enzymes that you put out and whatnot, it makes it harder for you to digest it.
Okay.
You will digest it, it's just harder.
Yes, sir.
Just the way it's constructed, that's all.
Yes, sir.
In other words, you heard about dinosaurs and all these kind of things that white folks show you. Jurassic Park and all that kind of stuff. Well, before we decided to come on the outside of the earth, these animals were eating. And then when we decided to come out, we had to go and start eating some of the things they ate to make us more beastly, to put up with them, if we intended to deal with the man that's a beast. However, when you start to come out of that beastly mode, or the reason to be beastly, you got to stop eating that so you can come back to be godly. Everything supported the white man or the devil. The food, the thoughts, everything supported him in his time. Even the celestial positions of the solar system, we changed it to support him for that time, for his time. Now for us to come back to where we're supposed to be, everything has got to be rearranged. So what you eat, well, like there's some people tell you, well, my grandmother lived to be 202. She ate pig feast for morning, breakfast, and dinner, and smoked cigars. Well, at that time. Now, that ain't gonna work. Everything got to change back around. So the food and the habits of eating has got to change.
Yes, sir. During the messenger's time, the messenger said navy bean was the best food to eat for us.
Yes, sir.
However, now based on the blood type,
right,
I think type O is not supposed to have navy bean.
Right.
How does those two work together?
Because during the time when the messenger was delivering this, he was talking to a beastly man. So much so, that's why he told the sisters, cover your hair, cover your body, make everything covered. The only thing be out is just your face and your hands. That's all, because the thinking of the man was, get that woman. When knowledge elevated and it become less beastly, then things change. Because of the situation of the man's financial status as being black at the time, the navy bean was perfect. It wasn't something that was going to actually kill him. However, it would actually help him from what he was eating. Now, if you're going to get to the finer points of it, no. You're not even supposed to eat the navy bean. Which we will be getting away from that too. So it's just today you do this because the situation calls for it. Tomorrow you do this because the situation has changed and it don't fit what happened today. So that's what's happened. Now, when we first started off, like you said, the navy bean, and then we left the navy bean, or not necessarily left it. We started talking about eating fruits and going on juice diets and all those kind of things. We got health conscious. Now it got right on up to eat according to your blood type. And you find every time you change, it works. You be so happy, you start telling other people, they say, oh man, that's crazy. But you know it works because you tried it. It works. You don't have no more gas at night. You can sleep, don't have no more headaches. And as soon as you eat something that ain't right, they let you know right away. Oh, I shouldn't have ate that. That's what's giving me. Right away. See? So it's constantly elevating. So the black man's thinking has got to do the same thing. Got to elevate.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On Providence, Rhode Island tape.
Who?
On Providence, Rhode Island tape.
Oh, yes, sir.
You shared about some of the things you saw when you went on the tour.
Yes, sir.
Would you share some more on that?
I didn't want to go. Really, Providence, Rhode Island, it was like a home setting, and we would just, kick it back and just let a little bit flow out. When I found out that everybody would listen to the tape, I said, oh, because Whitey listens too. Remember what was said. A lot of things we didn't tell white folk. Because if he got the knowledge of that, we would never come up from underneath for him. Of course, he ain't going to be here all the time. But he would be able to prolong or to make sure that when he went, he took you. So that, I won't call it a Freudian slip. Maybe I got too happy. Gave her some things that I don't necessarily, want to make it known worldwide. That tape is going around the world now.
Yes, sir.
Well, the best they can do is let the ones that study it know that this man knows something. You know.
Yes, sir.
So I won't expound on that yet,
Yes,
if it's all right with you.
yes. I have more questions.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. A long time ago, I saw a documentary called Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction.
Yes, sir.
And then, are you familiar with it?
Not for that particular thing, but I'm familiar with what you're saying.
Yes, sir. They had supposedly somebody was taking a film of supposedly the beings they got from the crash in the 1940s.
Yes, sir.
I think it's Roswell. Yes, sir. And in the documentary, they saw beings that looked like it's not from this planet. However, they were doing autopsy on it. And then after they did the autopsy, after they showed the documentary, they took the same documentary and showed it to these people who do special effects. I think for Steven Spielberg. Right. They're supposed to be the best at the cutting edge of their profession. And they looked at it and they said, based on what they have at that time, what they saw could not be a special effect because they have the tap of whatever exists. And then based on what they show, it must have been real or somebody is making a better special effect than them. And I guess my question is, were those being actually?
Yes, sir.
Oh, they were special beings?
Yes, sir.
Not from this planet?
Yes, sir. It was from another star system or another galaxy.
Okay. So why were they allowed to crash?
Why were they allowed to crash?
Yes, I did it. Yes, sir.
Well, it also let this man know he's not here by himself.
Oh, okay.
Just because he don't see nobody, we constantly watching him.
Yes, sir.
In other words, he's got clear evidence now. You know how white folks, they don't believe nothing.
Yes, sir.
But that's all they talk about, what they believe. I believe. But when you talk to them, I don't believe. They don't believe nothing, but they believe everything.
Yes, sir.
But the thing of it is believe. If they knew, they wouldn't have to believe. They know. So all the things that they got is already something that's already been here. They haven't created nothing new. Every time they think they come up with something new, here we come and show them it's been here all the time. You just never got to it. See?
Yes, sir.
So it served as this particular time that we're here now. I'm here. What I'm saying and what I am doing, he ain't gonna just run all up crazy like Wally thought he was gonna do. White folks, they know who I am. They know who I am. They know I'm here today speaking with y'all. They know that. They know you all drove the bus up. They know that. But they know I'm not here to incite you against them. I'm here to try to get you saved so you don't experience the same thing that's set for them. And if they want to escape it, they're going to have to do what you all do, submit to this. Other than that, it's not debatable. It's not debatable whether the fire is going to come or that dumb statement Louis made. You know, if we get together and do what's supposed to be, we can avert, we can change prophecy. That's a bunch of bull. You're not going to change no prophecy. We don't look at a line and then determine and state it, this is to be. Why are we going to change it? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, no, sir.
Yes, sir. So it was done to give the white man clear evidence as to what exists.
Well, that's why it was allowed. That's why it was allowed to take place.
Okay.
Since it was going to, since they made the arrow.
Okay.
We allowed it to go ahead and take place.
Yes, sir.
And it also, during that time, the white man wanted some water. The table was very, very low. If you allow us to do certain things here without hindering us, we will bring the water up. And we had to bring it up a little bit more than a mile. But he's not going to tell you that. So since 1947, a little beyond that, a little before, there's been communication with him and us as far as being intelligent or other beings. He knows about it. But he also knows there's no one greater than the one that's coming. Now I'm no longer coming, I'm here. He did his job on you. He's just not going to help you see me. If anything, he makes it more difficult for you to see me. He goes and makes sure that you get all the crack, all the cocaine, all the loose women, even your children. If you got a TV, you can't turn it on no station. I'm looking at, I turn on the gospel channel. They got Kirk Franklin, Natalie Cole, Smokey Robinson, MC Hammer. Comical. The children can't even look at nothing real concerning God himself. So he's making it extremely difficult for them to see me. And I, being so merciful, I come before you in a non-threatening way. Because I want you to be attracted and gravitate to the knowledge, not to the person, which you've been taught to do. And once you gravitate to that and we get enough, then I'll change the person. So when I look in the mirror, I say, oh, that's a handsome man there, boy. See? So I'm always giving. Always giving. Why'd the brother leave? You want to see the brother leave? Now, why did the sisters always answer? I mean, I know they're supposed to be smarter than you, but they're not supposed to be wiser. You want to see the brother leave? But nobody knows why. Oh, I didn't know all the way talking to the brother. Well, if the conversation right there is better than what's in here, make sure he lets me know what it is. You see? Y'all see? Yes, sir. Something else?
Yes, sir. Is it true that the white man has been allowed to get a hold of spaceship, that they have done reverse engineering on it and got some knowledge on it?
Do they have a spacecraft? You asked me, is it true that they have a spacecraft that's from another planet or something?
From another planet or from this planet? However,
yes, sir. They have one.
Okay. Why is that?
If I want to tie you up while I do something else, I got to give you something to play with while I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yes, sir.
If I want to go someplace and I know my son's going to be nagging me, Dad, I want to go. Dad, can I go with you? Dad, can I go? Before I say I'm going someplace, I give him something. Or I send him someplace. He just be so happy. When he come back, I'm gone. Or if he's attracted to it enough, and I see him really into it, I can tell him, well, I'm going, I'll be back in a few days. Okay. Because he's so tied up with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Answer your question?
Yes, sir. Okay. That's what Area 51 and all that is for, where they supposedly do experiments and all that.
Well, whatever they learn from it, they won't have time to use it.
Yes.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
And then a lot of the material that's needed from what they have, they don't have it. They can't produce it. They have not touched the vein in the earth that has that kind of material yet.
Yes, sir.
So it's like they got a big project that they're working on, and they just love it. But I'm working on one too.
Yes, sir.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
First, I didn't say thank you for the first answers you gave me. Let me say thanks.
Yes, sir.
Also, about your center pages and a question I asked you in November about knowing how Allah works so that we can actually benefit from it.
I work mathematically.
That's the answer you gave me. And when I walked out of there, I was like, it's not really what I was looking for. And I remember talking about it with my father, and we were walking outside. It was cold that day too. And this over like the next couple of weeks, and then, he was helping me like get there. And then finally, it finally hit. And the center pages, and one center page that you put up helped me make a decision about an opportunity that was presented to me.
Yes, sir.
That I believe you're responsible for getting that going. I just want to, it's just feedback to let you know that I'm using it and it's working, and that
yes,
thumbs up and everything. Also, I was wondering, we have like you have a little bit of history about a couple of major events that in our history. But I was actually wondering, like between the 50,000 years ago and 66 trillion years ago, or what other kind of? Oh, would you mind sharing any other kinds of things that went on here?
Well, the main thing that one should keep at the front of your thinking is that we're God, and we gave up our rulership to someone else, and all of the logistics that it took for that to take place, we gave permission. Period. And because nobody wants to come out of being a ruler, the present ruler said in all kinds of things to make sure that we would be discouraged in coming back to rule. So I don't have to catalog them. There's many things that are written, many things that are not. But the main thing of it is that we planned this. We're the author of it. I don't care how it looks like somebody else did it. They didn't outdo us. It's already calculated that I would come, and I'm here. And that's the greatest thing since Allah created himself from the atom in space. Nothing has happened greater than now, because I'm doing another creation. I'm making you new. So we won't harp on the things that's distasteful, because it's too many. However, the reason why we allowed it has now been accomplished and achieved. So now, instead of looking back into the darkness, we shall embrace the light. And that's the way you go with it. Okay? Because if you start looking back and finding a whole lot of things, you get angry. Then I start looking at roots. I don't even want to see it. I might get angry. And since I've grown now more than what I was yesterday, it's not really too safe to make me angry. For real. I'm not bragging. It's the same thing with you. The more you learn, the less tolerance you have for ignorance. The less you just don't have it. So, being myself, I have patience, but then there's a boundary to that. You got it? However, seeing the future, I just can't see enough of that. I just start getting happy. If I had some money, I'd just start giving it away. That ain't happened but once. And I gave that to my wife. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Just a minute, Brother Dan. For those of you that did come out, I appreciate it. And I certainly appreciate the ones from temple number 4. You all constantly bear witness. You never let me be lonely. So if I catch hell, I know somebody's going to be there with me. And if I do end up producing heaven, I know somebody's going to be there with me. Thank you for helping comforting me. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I wanted to get up and, first of all, thank you for coming again to Brooklyn, New York, the Royall family, and bringing them with you. I also like to thank the brothers that did participate. They came up from Connecticut and over from Jersey to see that this was successful. I'd like to thank the visitors that did come, have an opportunity to come out and hear Allah in person. I just wanted to make a brief statement. I was invited to go see this movie called Christ the Passion with another brother, and we were in the in a movie theater full of Caucasians. And I always would feed him a little math here and there. And he came out of that movie with so many questions about who was really God and what did he look like. Because the movie, when I got in there, I thought it was a chainsaw massacre. I mean, the way they depicted things, if you didn't know math and see the keys, you would have a whole picture of something else about who God really is. And I just want to make a statement that being here, seeing this individual standing on the stage is far more greater than the thousands of dollars that these people are paying to go see a movie that's not even accurate. That's not even accurate of what took place. There is some truth to some of it, but it's not absolute.
Yes, sir.
And I bear witness to that. Because I remember when you shared how Jesus died.
Yes, sir.
In a cross at the hands of a black man.
Right.
And that was only because he knew it wasn't time.
It's true.
It wasn't time for him. This is the time. If you're here in the presence of his presence, you are the blessed ones. Believe it or not. Like Ripley says, believe it or not. We don't operate in belief. We operate in what? No. And we get the no from Allah himself.
Thank you. For those of you that want to go over this and study it, I think we are duplicating the tapes. Ask for it in the rear. And check the table out or the things that we're doing that we have in motion for you as a people. You have another question? Check that out and see if you can come up with the answer to where is Allah. And if you come up with that, you might find out who he is. All right? Thank you for coming. This is the last question, unless someone else has a real pressing one. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I used to think that when people pray to God for relief of some sort of problem, and they didn't get the answer that they were looking for, I thought it was because they weren't prepared for the answer. So that's why they never got it. And then thinking now, in the time that we're in, there are a lot of people who still aren't prepared for the answers they receive in this auditorium and outside of it. And so I was wondering, why is that now is the time, whether people are going to be ready for the answer or not?
Well, I'm here. And I don't want you praying to me. I want you to listen and do as instructed. In other words, what I share with you don't require prayer after I share it. However, when you pray and you think, well, you didn't get the answer, it's not because the person is not ready for it as much as it is that it's not going to help you. Because whatever put you in a situation in the first place, you're going to go and do it again, then you have to say another prayer. You know, like Christians do every night they get down, they used to. Get on their knees every night and say the Lord's Prayer. Get up the next morning, be the biggest devil it is, go back and pray tonight. You know, just do things repetitiously over and over and over. So I'm here now. I am the legitimacy of the ending of prayer. Prayer is an excuse now. It is not, if you know me, if you know of my existence, and I'm using modern equipment, the internet, and that's the best thing that's on the net is us. And I have the book, which is called Center Page. We're probably putting out another one. If you just partake of that, your prayers is already answered. You don't have to ask me for something I've already given. You understand? So it does have some validity to it as far as the person may not be able to handle it according to what they're praying for. However, usually if we answer the prayer that way, then if we have not taught the person or they have not learned what caused them to be in that situation in the first place, they're going to do it again. So they have to come up and ask me again.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. I think we have the secretary coming up now. She's going to give you a few what's and what for, and what we need to do to be one, and all that. Get the tape. Check out the comic books. If you all decide to give, I may be shooting myself in the foot with this statement. If you decide to give in the charity basket a $5 bill, 5 ones, quarters, dimes, and nickels that add up to be $5, keep it. Purchase the book. Purchase the comic book. Now, if you want to put $5 in and purchase the book, yippity-doo-day. Get the book. This is a product from the young brothers in our university. And when you get it, when you go through it, don't gloss over it. Really look at it, because behind the major pictures that stand out that you can't deny, always right behind it, there's other little pictures that's in it that's very detailed. And for someone to do that, they have to be very organized. They got to have an eye for detail. Get it. I'm proud of it. Assalamu alaikum.